Hey Brightsider, are you ready to give your brain a good shake? Then you're in the right place.
Yeah.
Ryan was a famous artist. Unfortunately, he was 60. He had an accident that left him blind. The man hired 3 people to help him. Jason was his driver, Laura was the housekeeper, and Timothy looked after the garden. One afternoon, Timothy went to talk to Ryan and found the artist on the floor. Someone had attacked him. The man was taken to a hospital immediately, and the police arrived to investigate the case. Jason told them he and Ryan had had a great time in the morning playing computer games. Then he left to pick up Ryan's daughter from the airport. Laura said she'd spent all day in the kitchen cooking dinner. And Timothy said that before finding Ryan, he'd been at the market choosing new fruit trees for the garden. Who was behind the attack? It was Jason. Ryan was blind and couldn't play computer games. Kenneth, a newbie police officer, was walking along the street, proudly wearing his uniform. Suddenly, a pretty girl rushed towards him. "Help!" she screamed. "I've been mugged!" After Kenneth made her calm down, the girl told him her story. "I was walking home from college when a man ran up to me. He hit me in the eye and took all my jewelry and money." When Kenneth heard this, he immediately realized the girl was lying. How? The girl was wearing glasses. If the criminal had hit her in the eye, her glasses would have been shattered. Brian's friends invited him to spend the summer vacation in Europe with them. Unfortunately, the guy had serious problems with his studies. To punish him, his dad took away his passport and locked it in a safe. The only way for Brian to get his documents and have some fun was to crack the code. When he snuck into his dad's study, he saw a piece of paper stuck to the safe. There were 3 drawings on it: a rose, a rainbow, a calico cat, and a banana. Brian thought for a while, then pressed 4 numbers. The code was correct, and the safe opened. Which numbers were they? Two, 7, 3, 1. Each digit corresponds to the number of colors of the objects in the picture. Betty was on cloud 9 after 2 guys asked her out, but she felt she couldn't give hope to both of them. She had to choose one. Stephen was her secret crush. He was from a rich family, handsome and smart. She'd been dreaming about him for a year. John was a good guy too. She knew for sure he was kind and funny. The girl was at a loss. Which one should she pick? Any ideas? Betty should go for John. Stephen isn't serious about her. He has a lipstick mark on his neck. Look at this picture. Who, in your opinion, is from the future? It's that blonde man with a beard. Do you see he's carrying a flashlight? How about these pictures? Who's a time traveler here? It's the man in the third image. He's carrying his produce in a plastic bag. See? A real Viking is hiding among these soccer fans. Can you spot him? It's that red-bearded man in the left corner. Who's a time traveler in this image? It's the woman wearing a yellow skirt. She has wooden shoes on. If it's not a fashion statement, then she's definitely from the past. How about these guys? One of them is from the future. Can you figure out which one? It's the guy on the left. A smartphone is lying next to his hand. But look at the computer he's using. At that time, there were no smartphones yet. The next image is for you. Your task is to figure out who is from the past. It's this lady in a blue dress. Have you noticed a bag where she probably has some coins on her waist? These people look very, shall I say, ancient? But one of them is just pretending. He's actually from the future. Who is it? It's the man on the left. He's holding a blueprint of an aircraft. Okay, now try to use all your attention skills. Which painting is fake? It's the one in the middle. A painter from 1957 couldn't know anything about smartphones. These 3 vampires all claim that they're real, but 2 of them are imposters. Your task is to expose them. Look, there's a mirror behind the vampire on the left, and he does get reflected in it. As for the one in the middle, where are his fangs? So, only the vampire on the right is the real thing. Which of these people isn't very smart? The man is most likely making a mistake. He's gonna feed his cat with dog food. Look at this picture very, very attentively. There are a few mistakes here, but to make this task harder, I won't tell you how many. Try to figure it out on your own. For one thing, there's a car in the painting hanging on the wall, and it definitely looks out of place there. Then, the man seems to be using a banana as a phone. And oh boy, he must really be a very absent-minded guy. He's also wearing different slippers. We've got 3 people here. They all seem to be unwell, but one of them is only pretending. Can you figure out who it is? It's the guy on the right. His phone is in his right pocket. He must have used his right arm to put it there, but it's broken. How is it possible? Look at these people attentively. One of these guys is the baby's father. Can you figure out which one it is? It's the guy on the right. The baby has his eyes. Mark and Liza had been dating for 2 years. One day, the guy came to his girlfriend's house. He was going to propose to her, but when he made it there, he found Liza with another man. Mark was furious. The other guy got scared and rushed out of the house. Liza was shouting that it was her brother, but Mark knew better. Unfortunately, he hadn't seen the guy's face clearly. When he ran outside, he saw 3 men. Which one is Liza's lover? It's the guy on the left. It's freezing outside, and the other 2 guys have red cheeks and noses. But the third guy's face is pale, because he just left a warm house. One day, Mr. Martin called the police. His car had been stolen right from the street outside his house. The police questioned 3 suspects. Eric, a teenager who lived next door, said he had been at school and had seen nothing suspicious. Amy, a young artist renting a house across the street, had been too engrossed in her work to pay attention to her surroundings. But Mr. Brandon, an elderly man whose house was next to Amy's, accused Eric of taking the car. Mr. Brandon was having his breakfast when he saw the teenager get into the vehicle and drive off. Strangely, after his words, the police officers arrested the elderly man. Why? Everything Mr. Brandon could see out of his window during breakfast was his tall brick fence. A famous pop singer, Anthony Black, was attacked after his concert. He was taken to a hospital. The police questioned several of his fans. Linda was crying. "I took Anthony's autograph and couldn't wait to boast to my friends about it." Lisa said, "I asked Mr. Black to sign his photo. After I got it, I went to buy a coffee." And Jason said, "Anthony was super nice and friendly. I didn't notice anything strange." The police immediately arrested the fan who seemed suspicious. Who was it? It was Lisa. The autograph on the photo looks different from the singer's real signature.
Three ladies are hanging out at the park separately. One of them is the owner of this cat. Can you guess who? The cat belongs to the blonde lady. It tore her t-shirt. Lucy lives in an apartment building. She returns home from work, but she can't get inside because someone changed the password for the combination lock on the door. Can you help her get inside? There's a hint on this piece of paper. You need to move all the digits exactly one position back. And this is how we get the code. 8, 1, 5, 3. Lucy gets a message from her sister. She sent her a picture of her nephew. Can you find any mistakes here? The bucket handle is attached to the bottom. Lucy is an actress. She goes to an important audition at a large production company. In the lobby, she meets other actors: Bob, Nellie, Sally, and Kelly. Bob has a crush on one of these ladies. Can you guess who? All three ladies show some nonverbal signals of attraction. But take a look at Bob's body language. His torso is directed towards Nellie, so he's probably attracted to her. Lucy wanders around the lobby and sees these 4 posters on the wall. Which image doesn't belong here? Except for the bicycle need fuel, so it's extra. After the audition, Lucy is heading to the parking lot. Find her Volkswagen car there. Search the mall, find 3 suspects, and question them. Doing here? Karen says, "I'm looking for a wedding dress for my sister." Kyle says, "I'm just doing my weekly groceries as usual." And Pam says, "Honestly, I came here for the sake of visiting the restroom." Who's lying? Karen. What kind of bride would trust someone else to choose her wedding dress? The next day, Lucy goes to another audition. She enters the lobby and immediately spots a guest from another planet among these people. Can you see it too? Over here. Lucy is meeting her father, Roger. He has just returned from a very cool trip. He rode to the countryside to see a famous tourist spot on Thursday. Roger loved the place and decided to stay for a few days. He spent 4 days there and returned home on Thursday. How come? Easy. He rode a horse, and its name was Thursday. Roger brought Lucy a gift from his trip. Here's a hint to guess what's inside the box. When you say goodbye, I'm what you need to tie. I come as a couple and go wherever you run. Who am I? Shoes. Lucy and Roger are starving. Thankfully, the cook has just finished baking fresh bagels. Can you spot which one is different from the others? Each bagel has 6 white and 7 black sesame seeds on top. Each except this one. It has 7 white seeds and 6 black. After dinner, Lucy and Roger go for a walk. Can you guess why Lucy is looking behind? The guy's nose is very similar to Roger's. She suspects that her father might have a secret son. Lucy enters the door and sees a creepy secret lab with a caged monster. The door behind her slams shut, and now Lucy needs to get around an electric trap to escape. What lever does she need to press to do so? This one is just a light switch, and this lever will release the monster. So Lucy needs the third one. Lucy turns off the trap and enters the next room. She looks around and sees a metal door, but unfortunately, it's locked. And it requires not just one password, but 3. Lucy has just one attempt to make it right. She finds a sign with 3 words next to the door: happy, coffee, and paper. Can you guess the passwords for each keyhole? Let's take a closer look at the shapes of each keyhole and the shapes of the passwords. Some letters are bigger than others, and each word can fit right in one of the holes. So coffee should be put in the first keyhole. Paper fits into the second one, and the happy word is perfect for the third keyhole. Lucy finishes the job earlier and decides to surprise Sam. She arrives at the mountain village where Sam should currently be, and questions the locals. The car mechanic says, "I haven't seen any strangers recently. You should ask the barista." The barista says, "Sorry, I don't remember any new faces in my coffee shop." And then Lucy comes across an abandoned farm. Its owner says, "I've been living here on my own for a year now. I don't let strangers step on my land and especially into my house." Who's lying? Let's take a closer look at the land around the farmer's house. There are 2 pairs of fresh footprints. These lead in and out of the house, but the second pair of footprints only leads inside the house. Therefore, the farmer is having a guest. But he said he didn't let anyone in. Therefore, he's a liar. Lucy continues her journey and sees 2 ladies in the countryside. They seem to be alone, but are they? 3 faces are hiding in this picture. Can you find them? Here they are. The ladies tell Lucy that Sam went to the mountains. She follows his route and soon comes across a surreal mountain with carvings that look like animals. Can you spot 8 horses in this picture? Here they are. Lucy goes up the mountain and finds a fancy spa hotel. Lucy finds Sam in the hotel restaurant. They're having dinner with a stunning view. Can you spot anything odd here? Watermelons don't grow on trees. The cook brings the guys the best meals. But let's take a closer look at this picture. There's something wrong here. Can you guess what? cockroach under the table. The local music band begins a concert in the restaurant. Lucy takes 2 pictures. Can you spot 3 differences between them? Here they are. Lucy and Sam pack some fruits and water and go explore the local caves. And eventually, they get lost. They wander around for a while and find 3 doors leading outside the caves. But each door has a hidden surprise. There's a family of hungry elephants behind the first door. The second door is filled with toxic gas that is fatal for any mammal. And behind the third door, there's a booth that teleports people to random galaxies. Which way is more or less safe? The guys should choose the first door. Elephants don't eat humans. They like grass and fruits. So Lucy and Sam can distract the animals by giving them the fruits and escape. Lucy decides to visit the local hot springs. She locks her stuff in the dressing room and goes bathing. Unfortunately, someone breaks into her locker while she's chilling. Her gold watch is gone. Lucy questions 3 ladies standing nearby. Nina says, "I'm a millionaire. I can buy anything." Alice says, "It wasn't me. I think it was Nina." And Ashley says, "We should call the police. My earrings are gone too." Who's the thief? Ashley. Take a look at her hair bun. She hid the stolen watch inside it.
Okay, get ready for the ultimate attention test. Every smallest detail might turn out to be crucial. Let's find out how sharp your eyes really are. Look at these glasses. They're filled with water, and each of them has some object inside. Can you tell me which glass has the largest amount of water? If we compare the weight of these objects, we'll find out that the paperclip is the lightest. That's why the glass holding it has the largest amount of water. Among all these cute babies, try to find a sleeping one. Right, here it is. Wow, that was tricky. Bunnies, bunnies, bunnies. But I know for sure there must be an egg hiding among these cute creatures. Exactly. It's not another ear, it's indeed an egg. Look at these unusual equations. Can you figure out the values of the bee, wasp, and rabbit? The wasp is worth 10, the bee is 12, and the rabbit is worth 6. Now, to crack this riddle, you need to use all your attention skills. Mike was going to take his corgi to the vet, but the pooch has run away and hidden in the garden. Can you find it? Wow, that was a tricky task. Here it is, poor scared pup. A lot is happening in this picture, but you just need to spot one thing, a banana. A little hint, it might be hiding in a very unexpected place. This girl is wearing it as a hairband. Did you manage to spot it? Peter needs to take his dog for a walk, but it's raining outside, and the pooch doesn't seem eager to leave this cozy living room. Can you help the guy find his pup? Here it is, near the sofa. It looks like a regular living room, but happiness is hiding here. How fast can you spot it? Here it is. Bingo! Liz followed her mom's order and went to bed without objections. But her mom suspects that her daughter hasn't brushed her teeth. If you manage to find a toothbrush in the girl's bedroom, her mother's suspicions are correct. The toothbrush is hidden on that shelf. Uh-oh, someone is going to be in trouble tomorrow. Despite cold winter weather, Mark set off on a photo trip. His main goal was to capture a bear on film. Unfortunately, Mark isn't very attentive. A bear is watching him, but he doesn't notice the animal. Let's see if you'll be able to help the guy and find a bear in this image. Right, here it is. What a curious creature. Look at this image. How many triangles can you see? There are 44 triangles here. Have you got it right? What seems to be odd in this picture? It's definitely the McDonald's sign, but isn't it too early for it? How good are you at math? We'll see in a moment. If A plus A equals B, B plus B equals D, A plus D equals E, then how much is B plus D plus E? It's the letter K, which equals 11. All these letters represent their positions in the alphabet: A1, B2, C3, D4, and E5. 2 plus 4 plus 5 equal 11, and that's the letter K. Now, look attentively. Can you find a car in this black and white image? Here it is, hiding in the corner. Now, this one is probably the trickiest riddle out there. I've spent ages trying to figure out the answer. Can you find a ring in this image? Here it is, placed on top of a carrot. Whew! Can you find the answer to this equation? The answer is 3. See for yourself. A cat equals 4, a mouse is 3, and cheese is worth 2. Then, 4 minus 3 plus 2 is 3. Take a look at these creatures. They all seem to be zombies. But in reality, just one of them is the real monster. Can you figure out which one? It's the girl on the right. She has an eye floating in her drink. Can you spot a werewolf among these men? Be very attentive to every detail. I hope you've noticed that large, beautiful full moon shining through the window. Then you must have deduced that none of these men is a werewolf. Otherwise, he would have already transformed. Your friend has invited you for a walk in the park. She offered you 3 places to choose from. Which one should you pick? A wolf is hiding in the bushes in the first park. In park number 3, there is a snake in the grass. Only the second park is safe for a nice long walk. Can you find 5 hearts in this image? Here they all are. How many of them have you managed to spot? There are 4 mistakes in this image. Can you find them all? One, the dolphin seems to be missing its flippers. 2, this thing on the girl's back doesn't look like an oxygen tank. 3, a butterfly at the bottom of the sea. 4, someone has written SOS on the sandy bottom. I guess it's pretty much useless. No one is going to see this cry for help anyway. Larry's mother asked the guy to do some grocery shopping. She gave him a shopping list and her bank card. But the woman knew her son was very absent-minded. That's why she gave Larry a small note in case he forgot the card's PIN number. When the guy was at the register, he realized he had indeed forgotten the PIN. Larry pulled the note out of his pocket and immediately remembered the PIN. Can you figure out what it was if the note had a fly, a cat, a person, and a snake drawn on it? The PIN was 6420. Larry just had to count the number of legs on each creature. Thomas loved asking his friends to solve all kinds of funny riddles. If they answered correctly, he helped them with whatever they had problems with. One day, Daniel came to Thomas and asked for help with his math exam. He knew the rules, though. He had to solve one riddle first. What kind of running leads to walking? Thomas asked. Do you know the correct answer? Daniel said, running out of gas, and he was right. But helping your friend with exam preparation is a difficult task. That's why Thomas asked Daniel to solve one more riddle. A woman drove from Seattle to Los Angeles. It took her 2 days to get to her destination. That's when she discovered one of her tires was punctured. Then how did she manage to get to Los Angeles? Daniel cracked this riddle. Can you do the same? The punctured tire was the spare one. Ooh, that was lucky. Detective Oliver Smith was leaving for work in the morning when he saw a man running out of his neighbor's house. He stopped the guy who said his name was Paul. He came to visit his colleague about 30 minutes ago and saw him fighting with a man. The door was locked and Paul couldn't get inside to help. While he was trying to find the way to enter the house, the criminal left. Paul entered and saw his colleague lying on the kitchen floor, unconscious. Oliver and Paul came into the house. Nothing seemed to be out of the ordinary, but after looking around the kitchen, the detective arrested the man. Why? Paul was the one to attack Oliver's neighbor. If his words were true, fried eggs would have already been burned after 30 minutes of cooking. Detective Parkson was working on a tricky case. One day, he vanished. His colleagues found an encrypted note on his desk. It looked like this. The officers knew Parkson had 3 suspects: Milana, Susan, and Emily. Who had some information about the detective's disappearance? After some time, one of the police officers cracked the code. D plus 1 equals E, L plus 1 equals M, and so on. It was Emily who knew where the detective was. Well, aren't you the smarty pants? Good work.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. One of these guys is a time traveler. Can you guess who? There's a smartphone on the floor. It fell out of this guy's pocket. So he's the time traveler. Miss Charles is a famous chemist. Someone kidnapped her from her own lab. The police study the crime scene and find no evidence. other than a piece of paper with abbreviations for chemical elements and molecules. They questioned the only people who came to her lab on the day of the kidnapping: fellow scientist Nicholas, her boyfriend Austin, and her sister Alice. The police arrest one of the witnesses right away. How did they know who it was? There's a very obvious clue on the piece of paper. If you combine the abbreviations of the chemical substances, you'll get a name: OSTIN. George fell from a 100-foot ladder, but he didn't get hurt. How is this possible? Well, he was on the first step. Leah is sunbathing at the beach. She takes a little nap. Then she wakes up and finds out that her precious antique bracelet is gone. Leah gets furious. She finds 7 suspects at the beach. One of them is the thief. Can you guess who? Only the fisherman could have stolen it without leaving any footprints on the sand. Shelley and Kelly are sisters. Shelley lives alone, while Kelly lives with her boyfriend. Can you guess who is who? The woman on the left looks like she's making a meal for one person. She's Shelley. Meanwhile, the woman on the right has a big pot full of soup. So, she's Kelly. Take a look at this picture. How many ways can you read the word tiger? Tiger can be read in 60 ways in the given picture. The easiest way to count is to start with the letter T in the center, and then move to the neighboring letter vertically or horizontally. Peter is exploring old caves outside the city. Suddenly, he gets trapped in a mysterious dungeon. There are 3 ways out, but only one of them is safe. Behind the first door, there's a raging fire. Behind the second door, there's acid rain, which could melt any substance within seconds. Behind the third door, there's a huge brown bear that hasn't eaten in 2 years. Which way should Peter choose? He should enter the third door. No animal can go for 2 years without food. An important final exam is taking place in the local college. One of the students is cheating. Can you spot who? It's this guy. He has answers on his arm. Jules is making her way through the forest. She can see the river ahead, but before she reaches it, Jules needs to solve a problem with a pack of wolves. They're slowly surrounding Jules. She comes up with 3 ideas. Press against the tree and quickly climb it. Use matches to make a fire on the ground and scare away the wolves. And the third idea is to splash water in different directions. What's the best course of action? Wolves are afraid of fire, but Jules doesn't have enough time to make it. And water is useless in this case, so Jules should find a tall tree and climb it. Emperor Kyle rules one faraway galaxy. He looks after all the planets in it. One day, someone broke into his palace and stole the blueprint of a new gadget. This gadget should create the first planet with oxygen. Emperor Kyle is sure that the robber is among the kings who rule the largest planets in his galaxy. He immediately calls them for interrogation. King from Planet M says, "I was too busy recently. The locals on my planet are moving to a new apartment district." King from planet B replies, "There was a fire on my planet. I put the fire out on my own. Thankfully, it's over now." And the ruler of planet Q says, "I've been feeling really sick recently, so I didn't even want to fly to this meeting." Who is lying? It's the king from planet B. As we mentioned, there's no oxygen on any of the planets in this galaxy. This means there can be no fire. Nora arrives at her office early in the morning. Wow! Someone left a fruit basket on the desk. Oh no, did I forget someone's birthday? She works with 3 colleagues, Tyler, Chris, and Amanda. Nora checks their profiles to find out who's having a birthday today, but nobody. All the co-workers arrive later and Nora questions them. Tyler says, "I've nothing to do with this basket. I'm allergic to most fruits." Chris says, "Give me a break. I was partying all night, so I didn't have time to send silly gifts." And Amanda says, "Wow, I think it was Chris. He's totally crushing on you. He confessed to me last week." Who's lying? Tyler. Take a look at the takeaway smoothie that he's holding. It's full of fruits, so he lied about his allergy. Holly's walking down the street. Suddenly, someone snatches a bag from her hands and runs away. Luckily, it happened right in front of the police department. A policeman on the porch notices the crime, and he begins to chase the thief, who runs into the local hospital. It's very crowded here. Can you help the policeman find the thief among these people? There's definitely something wrong with this guy. He's holding stuff that belongs to different doctors, a dentist, an ophthalmologist, and a surgeon. The thief tried too hard to pretend to be a doctor. Andrew and Rose are getting married. They're looking for the perfect place to celebrate. Their agent shows the guys 4 options. Can you help them choose the best one? Let's take a look at the first option. Some chairs have missing legs. It doesn't seem safe. Snakes are crawling in the flower decoration in the 3rd space. And there's a water puddle around the bathroom in the 4th restaurant. So, Andrew and Rose should pick the second option. Luke invites his best friend Nancy to the restaurant. He's very nervous because he wants to ask her to be his girlfriend. They finish a delicious dessert, and Luke is about to ask the question. Suddenly, Nancy's phone rings. She leaves the table. In a couple of minutes, she returns, and Luke notices the difference in Nancy right away. She has a vampire bite on her neck and sharp teeth. Luke wants to catch the vampire who did it. He finds 4 suspects. Who bit Nancy? These 2 people have red lipstick on their faces. They were just kissing. And the chef is making a strawberry cake. So this guy is a vampire. Alex runs a small shoe repair shop. On Friday night at around 9 p.m., Alex leaves his office and goes to the parking lot. Oh no! Someone scratched his car. Alex questions 3 witnesses to figure out who did it. Sandra says, "I was heading to the coffee shop to get some espresso. I can't sleep. I have to get ready for my finals." Mike says, "I spent all day at the farmer's market. That was awesome. You should check it out too. It's held every Sunday." And Nina says, "My car is over here and it's fine. I don't know who scratched yours because I just arrived." One of them is lying. Can you guess who? Mike. He said the farmer's market was held every Sunday, but it's Friday night. Claire is having an audition today, but first she needs to fix her car to go there. 3 mechanics offer their help, but 2 of them are fake mechanics. Can you spot who exactly? The second guy's watch looks pretty expensive. It's too risky to wear them while working. And the third guy's nails are too long for this job. Claire should pick the first guy. Frank is a private investigator. He receives a task to secretly check this office. Can you spot Frank? Over here. What about this location? Can you find Frank? He's hiding in a trash bin.
Richard Brooks, a famous jeweler, called the detective's office saying he had just been robbed.
I spent the entire morning showing diamond rings to a few people. A gentleman in a suit, a woman with her son, and a couple. When I looked down to grab the store's most expensive ring, I felt somebody hit me on the head. I fell forward, and when I woke up, everybody was gone,
Brooks told the detective. The detective asked to take a look at the security cameras, and in a few minutes, he figured out who had robbed it. Take a look at the image. Can you tell who did it? If you look closely, you'll see that the woman that was in the store with her son is carrying a teddy bear. But look at that bear's eye. It's bright, like a diamond. She must have stolen it. Amy lives in a cozy townhouse with 3 roomies, Jill, Alice, and Nora. Take a look at these 4 bedrooms. Can you tell which one belongs to Amy? Let's go one by one, Sherlock. In the first room, there's a comb with some green hair stuck to it. Nora's the one with green hair, so that must be her room. Then in the room to the right, there's a single red sock under the bed. Take a look at Jill's feet. She's missing that same sock. That must be her room. In the room right under this, there's a yellow jacket hanging on the chair. And Alice is wearing the same colored pants. It looks like the 2 pieces are a suit, huh? This leaves the last room, with a huge letter A poster hanging on the wall. That must be Amy's room. Phew, that took some work. Bobby entered a coffee shop excited to drink his daily cappuccino. But when he went to pay, he realized he had forgotten his wallet. The barista, instead of getting mad at him, suggested another way out. If Bobby could win his game, he would give Bobby the cappuccino for free. Bobby agreed. Okay, I'm going to tell you 3 facts about myself, and you have to figure out which one is false, the barista said. Here are the facts. I have 3 brothers. I hate the color red. I have a PhD in philosophy. Can you help Bobby out? Which fact do you think is false? It's the second one. Look at how many red things the barista owns. His cell phone case, the belt he's wearing, and his hat. Kevin had to travel to Los Angeles on business. He checked into his hotel and went out for the series of meetings he had during the day. After a long day of work, he came back to the hotel exhausted. He ordered some room service and fell asleep binge-watching his favorite TV show. But in the middle of the night, he was woken up and kept turning and tossing around in his bed. That's when he picked up the phone, made a call, didn't say anything, then finally fell back asleep. Who did Kevin call and why? That's easy. He called the room next to his. His neighbor's snoring was through the roof, so it woke Kevin up. When he called his next-door neighbor, it woke him up, and Kevin didn't need to say anything. The neighbor stopped snoring, and Kevin was finally able to sleep. Will and Frank went hiking on their summer vacation. They walked for hours before finding the perfect spot to set camp, in the middle of a deserted island. The next morning, they thought it would be safe enough to leave their things unattended and went for a short walk around the island. When they came back, their stuff was scattered everywhere, and some of their things were missing. Take a look at the picture. Can you tell who stole their things? Nobody. Look at how that palm tree is swinging. A storm is clearly coming and the wind got pretty harsh. So it was probably just the strength of the wind that scattered all their stuff around. And some of it might have gotten into the ocean. Yikes. You wake up and find yourself trapped in a room with 4 doors in front of you. When you hear a monster coming, you're sure you're running out of time, so you check the doors quickly. The leftmost door has a sign on it saying, "Take the door on the right to break free." The second door has a sign saying, "It's the right door." The third door holds the sign, "Freedom is just right in front of you." And the last door has a sign saying, "Don't trust the signs." Which door should you choose? Well, there's a little bit of wordplay here. Let's see why. The first door says to take the door on the right. The second one says it's the right door. It doesn't say that it's the correct door, so one could conclude that it's pointing to some of the doors on the right. The third door says freedom is just right in front of you. But that just doesn't make any sense, does it? You can interpret that as it's pointing to the door just on your right. And that's it. It's the last door. It tells you not to trust the other signs, but it doesn't tell you that they're false, does it? Someone stole a rare diamond from Mrs. Monica Fraser's house. Mrs. Fraser claims she walked into her bedroom and found that the glass box was broken and her diamond was gone. She called Detective Brian, who soon arrived at her place. He gathered 3 suspects. Steve, the gardener, said he was on holiday that week, so he wasn't anywhere near the house when it happened. Sophia, her cousin, said she didn't even know Monica had a diamond hidden in her house. And Adeline, the cleaner, said that when she cleaned the house around 10 p.m. the previous night, everything seemed all right. Take a look at the suspects. Can you tell who stole the diamond? It was Adeline, the cleaning lady. It seems that right after she broke the glass and stole the jewelry, she also wiped off the pieces of glass while cleaning as well. It was a lazy Sunday morning, and John was having breakfast in the kitchen. Suddenly, he heard a loud noise of glass shattering. He walked into the living room and saw that someone had just broken one of his windows. He was mad and decided to go outside to see if he could find the culprit. There were only 3 people in the street. Jake, a young boy, was coming home from football practice. He was holding a ball in his hands, but he swears he didn't do anything. Stephen, John's longtime friend, was carrying a toolbox and said he'd just decided to go over there to fix John's window. Robert, the newspaper guy, was riding his bike and throwing newspapers at people's front lawns. After interviewing them all, John knew who had done it. It was Robert. If you look at the lawn, the newspaper is lying on the grass beneath the window. He threw the newspaper towards the mailbox but missed it and hit John's window. Whoops! It's best John just laughs about this, huh? Becca and Tom are a couple, and they decided to spend their Saturday afternoon enjoying New York's good summer weather. One of them rented a scooter from Brown's Scooters and needed to pay for their ride. The owner of the scooter company came to charge the user the $15 they owed. Both Becca and Tom, who were sitting on a park bench at that moment, were arguing over who should pay for the scooter ride. Becca said that Tom was the one who wrote it, so he should pay for it. But Tom said it was Becca that wrote it, and she should pay for it. Can you tell who's lying? Becca is lying. Take a close look at Becca's footprints. They lead directly to the scooter.